ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरोः श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणरघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं श्रीकृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमोस्तुते। तप्त काञ्चन गौरांगी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। नमो महावदान्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायिने कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्य नाम्ने गौरत्विषे नमः। पञ्चतत्त्वात्मकं कृष्णं भक्तरूपस्वरूपकं भक्तावतारं भक्ताख्यं नमामि भक्तशक्तिकं। श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौरभक्तवृंदा। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। जन्माद्यस्य यतोऽन्वयादितरतश्चार्थे सुभिज्ञस्वराट् तेने ब्रह्महृदाय आदिकवये मुह्यन्ति यत्सूरयः। तेजो वारिमृदां यथा विनिमयो यत्र त्रिसर्गो मृषा धाम्ना स्वेन सदा निरस्तकुहकं सत्यं परं धीमहि। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। स्वस्ति अस्तु विश्वस्य खलः प्रसीदतां ध्यायन्तु भूतानि शिवं मिथो धिया। मनश्च भद्रं भजतादधोक्षजे आवेश्यतां नो मतिरप्यहेतुकी। सभी का स्वागत है श्री भगवत
Welcome all of you to this session on Śrīmad-Bhāgavata Gita.
और आज हम आरंभ कर रहे हैं द्वितीय
Today we are studying from 41st verse of the second chapter onwards. In the previous session we learned that
कर्म योग के बारे में वर्णन करेंगे।
now Bhagavan will explain about Karma Yoga. Prior to that Bhagavan explained Jnana Yoga or Sankhya Yoga, and before explaining, first of all he explained the importance of Karma Yoga. He said that if somebody makes even a slight progress on this path, then he will be freed from the great danger of this world. Whatever progress one makes, that will never be destroyed.
और इसमें कोई बाधा भी नहीं है।
There is no obstacle on this path. There is no destruction of any progress made on this path.
प्रशंसा केवल खाली प्रशंसा नहीं है, वास्तविक गुण
So this was not some empty praise that Bhagavan made for Karma Yoga. This is actually the quality of Karma Yoga that Bhagavan praised. And both meanings can be taken. One is Nishkam Karma Yoga, other is Bhakti Yoga. So there are many kathas of people who were on this path of Nishkam Karma Yoga or Bhakti Yoga, and they could not attain perfection in that life. Then in the next life, they continued from where they left in the previous life. There are many such kathas in Shastra. It's also seen that many people they have interest on the spiritual path from childhood itself. So what is the reason? The reason is that they have done something in the previous life and they are continuing from where they left in the previous life. So in this verse, Bhagavan says that the buddhi on this path, the intelligence on this path is one, because he had explained about buddhi itself. Whatever action we perform after deciding with our buddhi, with our intellect. Earlier also he had said that, so here he is explaining in a different way. Translation: O descendant of Kuru, on this path, the intellect is resolutely determined, being one-pointed in its intent, whereas the intellectual determinations of the irresolute are innumerable and many-branched. So buddhi is of two types. One is for sense gratification and other is for liberation. So dharma, artha, kam also is one division and moksha is another division. In this way also purusharthas can be divided. So one is towards renunciation and one is towards sense gratification, sense enjoyment. So both are being described in different ways. So the buddhi, which is towards moksha, which is aimed towards liberation, or bhakti, that is one only. In that there is only one determination, because it is one vastu only, that is either to attain liberation or to attain Bhagavan. That is one only. There are no different branches in that. So that is why there is a determination in the intellect of such spiritual aspirants. So vyavasaya means business also, but in Sanskrit vyavasaya it does not mean that. In Sanskrit vyavasaya means determination. Actually, even if one has to do business, one has to be determined. He has to have determination for that business. So here Bhagavan is telling the buddhi is nishchayatmak, that is determined. It is one. It does not keep wavering here and there. It remains focused on one point only. And that point is to attain moksha, liberation, or Bhagavan. Moksha is in Gyan Marga and in Bhakti Marga it is Bhagavat, to attain Bhagavan. But one whose intelligence is aimed towards sense enjoyment, that person's buddhi is of many types, because sense enjoyment is of various types. Somebody wants post, position, wealth, prestige. And if one wants a higher position, in that also there are so many branches. It is not just one. So that's why Bhagavan is telling that buddhi is of many types, and again it has various subdivisions. If he has wealth, how much he wants, how he will get, what type of business he will do, whether he will be working on employment or he will steal, in what way will he earn money. Many people earn wealth in different ways, not just in one way.
हैं, बहुशाखाई अनंत है।
So it has many branches.
और बुद्धयो अव्यवसायी नाम, तो अव्यवसायी
So avyavasai means that his buddhi is not
बदल
fixed.
जाती है,
The intellect is not
एक
fixed
कुछ
up. It
किया
keeps changing.
उसमें उनको सफलता प्राप्त नहीं की तो फिर
To
छोड़
do
दिया,
one thing,
चले गए।
and if you do not attain success in that, again leave that, again
सारा
enter
दिन
another
केवल
field,
यही
keep
करना है,
changing the
ये करना
business.
है, वो करना है। तो इस प्रकार से
So in this way,
उनकी बुद्धि का निश्चय नहीं रहता।
their intellect
किसी
is
और
not
से
fixed
शादी
up.
करेंगे,
It
पहले
is not determined.
किसी के प्रति प्यार हो
You
जाता है,
get
उसी के
married
साथ
to one person because you fall in love with that
फिर कुछ
person,
समय बाद उनका मन बदल जाता है कि
and
नहीं,
then again mind
इससे
changes,
करता तो अच्छा रहता,
and
तो
mind
छोड़ के
keeps
दूसरी
thinking
शादी
that
कर लेते।
better I would have married the other
तो इसको
person.
बोलते हैं
So then they
अव्यवसायी,
get divorced and again get
अनिश्चित।
married to somebody else. So this is
क्यों?
intellect which is wavering,
क्योंकि
not fixed up.
इंद्रिय जो
Why?
है, मन जो है, वो
Because our
बदलता रहता है,
senses, our mind
दृश्य भी
keeps
बदलता रहता
fluctuating, and
है।
the
जो
subject
विषय
matter also
आपको
keeps changing.
आकर्षित कर रहा है,
The
आपको
sense
आकर्षित कर रहा
objects
है,
also keep changing.
कुछ समय
The
बाद वो
objects with which we
सामग्री
are
बदल
attracted
जाती है,
now,
कहीं और
then
आकर्षित
that
हो जाती
attraction will decline, and then we get attracted to something
है, फिर
else.
आपका मन बदल जाएगा,
So that is
दृष्टि बदल
why then
जाएगी।
mind will also change
तो जब
and
बुद्धि
determination will also
निश्चय रहती
change.
है,
So when the intellect is going behind the
स्थिर नहीं
mind,
रहेगी,
then the intellect
मन
cannot
जो है
remain
वो
fixed up
अनिश्चित रहता है,
because mind is not
मन
fixed
जो
up.
है वो चंचल रहता है, चंचल
Mind
मन है कृष्ण।
mind is chanchala. It
और
keeps
जब मन
wavering.
चंचल
It
रहेगा
is
और
of
बुद्धि
flickering nature.
आपके पीछे चलेगी तो बुद्धि भी बदलती रहेगी,
And if
बुद्धि
the
से ही
intellect follows this type of mind, then intellect will also will not have
बुद्धि से ही
determination.
लेते हैं।
And whatever decision we
इसलिए
take, it is
ये
by
दोनों
our
में अंतर है।
intellect.
पहला वाला जो है वो
So that is why there is the difference
चित्त
between
और
both
उसका मन जो
types of intellect.
यानी
In
उसका
one
मन
case,
उसकी बुद्धि के नियंत्रण में रहता है,
the
और
mind is under the
दूसरे
control
केस
of
में
the
मन
intelligence,
के नियंत्रण
and
में
in
बुद्धि
the
चलती
other
है
case,
और मन के पीछे
the
बुद्धि चलती है।
intelligence is under the
तो वो
control of
इसी
the
जैसे
mind.
पहले भी हमने उदाहरण दिया कार का,
So, like I have given the example of car or
उसमें भी
chariot earlier
इंद्रियां
also.
हैं,
In on the chariot,
बागडोर जो
the
है,
horses are the
गाड़ी के वो
senses, and the
पहिए जो है वो इंद्रियां हैं,
uh,
और
reins
स्टीयरिंग
are the
मन
senses.
है,
Or in the car, you can say
चलाने
the
वाला
tires
जो
are
है
the senses,
सारथी ड्राइवर है।
and the
तो
driver.
ड्राइवर के कंट्रोल में स्टीयरिंग रहेगी तो आप
So driver
आसानी
should
से,
control the steering.
और अगर
Then only we
स्टीयरिंग के
can
कंट्रोल में
reach
ड्राइवर
the
नहीं रहेगा तो
destination.
गलत होगी।
But if driver is under the
और
control of the
स्टीयरिंग
steering,
के कंट्रोल में आप, यानी कि आपने स्टीयरिंग को हाथ में नहीं पकड़ा हुआ है,
suppose you are under the
तो
control of
गाड़ी
the
कहीं भी
steering,
जाएगी,
means you are not holding the steering,
पर
then the
नियंत्रण
car can
इसलिए
go
इसको
anywhere.
कहते हैं अव्यवसायी।
You will not reach your
अगर
destination.
स्टीयरिंग आपके हाथ में है
That is called
तो आप उसको
avyavasai.
कंट्रोल करके आपके उद्देश्य
If the
को
steering is in your
हासिल कर
hand,
सकते
then
हैं,
you will
उसका
control the steering
उद्देश्य यही कि
and you will drive to reach
लेकिन
your
अगर
desired
स्टीयरिंग आपके हाथ
destination.
में नहीं है
But if the
और आप
steering is not under your
बैठे हुए
control
हैं,
and you are simply
तो
seated,
उसको भगवान कहते
then
हैं
that steering
बहुशाखा
can
है
take you
अनंत।
anywhere. That is what Bhagavan is telling, Bahushakha hi
गाड़ी
anantascha.
कार में
It
तो
can turn anywhere.
सड़क पर चलेगी तो ज़्यादा इधर उधर नहीं, लेकिन अगर घोड़े हैं, उन्होंने हरी घास इधर देखी इधर चले गए, कहीं और उनको दाना मिला उधर चले गए,
So
तो
it's
इधर
like
उधर नहीं जाएंगे।
the horses which are
इसी
wandering
तरह से
here and there.
अगर हमको अपने उद्देश्य की प्राप्ति करनी है, यानी कि हमको अब अपने गंतव्य स्थान पर जाना है,
So it is like if we
तो
have
मन
to
को
reach our desired
हमारे नियंत्रण में
destination,
होना चाहिए,
then the vehicle
उसको नियंत्रण
should
करने
be
के
under
लिए
our
जो
control.
बुद्धि है वो उसकी स्टीयरिंग,
And
उसको
the control mechanism is
चालक है तो
by
उसकी रस्सी
controlling the
हमारे हाथ में
steering.
होनी चाहिए,
Or
ताकि
if you are on a
मन जो है,
chariot, the
हमारा
reins
मन
should be in your
हमारे
control,
नियंत्रण में होना
the
चाहिए।
control of the driver.
इसलिए भगवान ने
So
पहले ही कहा था
similarly, our
बुद्धि
mind
युक्त
should be
है
under our control.
कर्म बंधन प्राश्चित, इस बुद्धि से
That's why
युक्त
Bhagavan had told earlier
कर्म
also
के बंधन से
that being equipped
प्राश्चित
with
है।
this intelligence,
तो
you
बुद्धि से
can
युक्त
cross
होने का
over
मतलब यही
the
है
karma,
कि
the
बुद्धि
bondage of
व्यवहार
karma.
द्वारा अपनी मन
So
की
being equipped
प्रक्रिया
with intelligence
चलाना है।
means that you control your mind and senses by your
तो
intelligence.
सफलता होगी या असफलता होगी,
So
तरक्की
in our
होगी या
life,
नहीं
we will
होगी,
be
ये इसी पर
successful
निर्भर करता है।
or we will be
और इस जगत
unsuccessful,
में भी जो लोग
depends
सफल
on
हैं, चाहे
this.
वो अच्छे
Even in the
व्यापारी हों
material sphere,
या
whether
दूसरे
someone
किसी
is a businessman
क्षेत्र में कार्य कर रहे
or
हैं, वहाँ भी
working in any other field,
उनकी
if that person has attained success,
शक्तिशाली
it
होती है।
is because he has a very
जैसे
strong intelligence. doesn't work just by mind.
उसी से चलना ही पड़ता है।
And on the spiritual path, obviously, you have to walk with your intelligence only.
फिर आपका
Without intelligence, it is not possible to succeed in this path, because then your mind will
और
control
हमारे
you.
जीवन में जो निर्णय है किसी भी
The decisions that we take in our life for any activity, those decisions are very important,
कि हमारी दिशा किधर
because
जा रही
decision means
है। जैसे
it
आप
indicates where our life is going to turn.
कौन सी
If you want to go somewhere,
हाईवे
then which road or which highway
पकड़ेंगे उससे
you will
निर्भर करता है
select
हम कहाँ
will
पहुंचेंगे।
determine where you will
तो
reach.
हमारे जीवन की गति किस
Similarly,
तरफ चलेगी ये हमारे
where
निर्णय
our
पर
life will take a
निर्भर करता
turn, that
है।
depends
इसलिए
on
जब
our
भी कोई
decision.
निर्णय लें
That is why whenever we
सोच
have to
समझ
take
कर
any
उसे लें।
decision in our life, we
और
should
अगर
take
दूसरों को
decision
सपोर्ट
by
करके अगर हमारा
deliberating, by
चेहरा
contemplating
आगे है
seriously.
तो
And
हम
we should also take help of people who are more
क्योंकि निर्णय
qualified,
से ही हमारे जीवन
experienced,
में
and
चलता
wise
है।
than us. Because
ऐसे
life
में बहुत कुछ
progresses by
समय दौलत है
decisions.
सुविधाएं हैं
We may have a lot
अगर
of
हम
wealth
गलत
and
निर्णय भी लेते हैं
facilities,
तो भी हम
but if we
पछताते
take
हैं।
the wrong decisions, then we
और
will
हमारे पास
remain
बहुत
miserable.
ज़्यादा संभार यूटिलिटी फैसिलिटी नहीं है लेकिन हम निर्णय ठीक लेते हैं तो भी हम
If
शांति
we do not
पूर्वक
have
जीवन
much
बिता सकते हैं।
facilities in life, but if we
तो
take the right
वास्तव में
decisions,
हमारे जीवन
then
की
we can live
सफलता और असफलता
peacefully.
हमारे निर्णय पर निर्भर
So our
करती है और
success
हमारे
and
निर्णय
failure
ही सही
depends
होते
on
हैं।
decision making, and decisions
दूसरी
have to
बात
be
है
taken by
बुद्धि
intelligence.
की बहुत
So
महत्वपूर्ण
regarding that
भूमिका है।
only, Bhagavan
ऐसा
is
आध्यात्मिक
talking here, and he is
को
emphasizing a lot on intellect,
तो
on
व्यक्ति को
buddhi.
सबसे पहले अपने जीवन में बैठकर
So a person,
ये
first
निर्णय
of
लेना
all, in his
चाहिए कि
life,
मैं क्या प्राप्त करना
should
चाहता हूँ।
sit and decide
हमें
what
हमारा
he
गोल
wants
हमारा
to
उद्देश्य
attain,
हमारे
what is the
एम
goal,
वो स्पष्ट होना
what
चाहिए।
is the aim, what is the purpose.
और आजकल
That
सबसे
should
बड़ी
be
समस्या
clear.
यही है
And today, this is the
कि
biggest problem,
प्रायः
that
के लोगों को पता नहीं
mostly
है कि
people do
जीवन
not
का उद्देश्य
know
क्या है वो
what
क्या
is the
प्राप्त
purpose
करना
of
चाहते
life.
हैं।
What do they
इसके
want to
बारे में
attain
स्पष्ट
in their
जानकारी
life?
होती है
They do not have
फिर वो
clarity
दूसरों से प्रभावित
regarding
होते
this.
रहते हैं।
Then they get impressed
यहाँ किसी
or
का कोई
influenced
लेक्चर
by
सुना उससे
others.
प्रभावित हो गए फिर
You
किसी
just hear
दूसरे
somebody's
राजनेता का
lecture,
प्रवचन सुना
get
उससे
impressed,
प्रभावित हो गए
or you hear some other
फिर
politician,
कोई
get
उससे प्रभावित
impressed,
हो गए
watch some
कोई
video,
फिल्म देख
get
के उससे
impressed by that,
प्रभावित हो
or
गए
watch some movie and then got
ऐसे प्रभावित
influenced.
होते रहते हैं
So in this way, we keep getting influenced by all these
भटकते रहते हैं
influencers,
उनकी
and we
बुद्धि
keep wandering here and there. So the intellect is
इसलिए
not fixed
बुद्धि
up.
को स्थिर
It
करना
keeps roaming here and there.
बहुत
So
आवश्यक है।
the buddhi, intellect has to be
इसके लिए
fixed up.
हमें ये
That is
निश्चय
very
करना
important.
पड़ेगा कि जीवन
And
में
for
हमें
that,
क्या प्राप्त
we
करना
have
है।
to decide what do we want in
वास्तविकता
life.
अंतिम में तो हम शांति और सुख
Ultimately,
यही चाहते हैं
what we want is
और वो
peace.
निश्चयात्मक बुद्धि से ही प्राप्त
And
होता
that peace is only possible
है।
by
शांतस्य
fixed up
परमस्य
intellect,
धर्म
one
आगे
pointed intellect.
इसी अध्याय में कहेंगे
Later,
कि जब
Bhagavan will
हमारी
tell
बुद्धि अशांत है
that
तो सुख
if
कैसे
our
प्राप्त हो सकता
intellect is not in
है। तो
peace, then
अशांत
how can we be happy?
बुद्धि तभी रहती है जब हमारा मन
So
चंचल रहता है और
when our mind is flickering,
परिवर्तन में
then
रहता है।
our intelligence is not in
इसलिए
peace.
भगवान यहाँ पर कहते हैं विवशात्मिका बुद्धि
So
एक
that's why Bhagavan is telling here
एक है
that
उसका एक
buddhi is
लक्ष्य
one,
रहता है
it has one
एक
goal,
गंतव्य रहता है।
it has one destination.
और जब भौतिक वस्तुओं में हमारी आसक्ति रहती है तो
When we
बुद्धि
become attached to material objects,
बढ़
then
जाती
our intelligence gets divided into many
है। हमें सोचना
branches.
है इसके लिए।
So this is what we have to contemplate.
आगे 12वें अध्याय में
Later, in the 12th, or no, in the 9th chapter,
यहाँ तक कहेंगे कि
Bhagavan will
जिसने
also say that
मेरे बारे में निश्चय कर लिया है जिसकी
one who has
व्यवसायत्मिका
decided
बुद्धि हो गई है
to attain me,
अगर उसका
his
आचरण भी ठीक नहीं है तो भी
buddhi
उसका कल्याण
has
हो जाएगा।
become fixed up.
विचेत सुदुराचार
Even if
भजते
is
रजोनिंदन
or not of good character, still he should be considered a sadhu.
सम्यक
Why?
व्यवस्थित
Because
मतलब
samyak
ठीक प्रकार
vyavasit,
से
because
व्यवस्थित
that
निश्चय
person
करता है
has taken the right decision. His determination is correct. So Bhagavan
उसने
is
निश्चय
here
किया
focusing on the
अगर कोई
determination.
गलती करता है तो वो सुधार लेगा उसको
So if such a
उसने
person
निश्चय
makes
कर
a
लिया
mistake also, then that
क्योंकि
person
दूसरा
will
कोई नहीं
rectify his
आपने निश्चय
mistake
कर लिया कि मेरे को
because
दिल्ली
he has
जाना है
taken the right
वृंदावन
decision. Like for example, you have
दूसरा कोई
decided to go to
दूसरा रूट
Delhi
पकड़ लेते हैं
from Vrindavan, and on the way, let's say you choose
लेकिन कभी
a
कभी
wrong
हमें
highway or
लगता
a
है
wrong
कि
road.
मैं गलत जा रहा हूँ
But after some time, you will
लेकिन
understand I
प्रारब्ध
have
वश
taken
अपने
the wrong route.
सही
So if
समय
your
पर हम
decision
अपने
is
गंतव्य स्थान पर पहुंच
determination
जाते
is
हैं
correct, then you will
अगर
change
आपका
that route and reach
सोच
your
ही गलत
destination.
है तो फिर आप कहाँ पहुंचेंगे।
But if your
इसलिए
decision only is not
ये
correct,
निश्चय
then
करना
how will you
बहुत
reach there?
बरकरार है
So that's why here Bhagavan is emphasizing the importance of decision, being determined. And this determination is only possible when your determination is also correct. Basically, what Bhagavan wants to say that on the path of sense enjoyment, determination is not possible. Determination is only possible on the spiritual path. So indirectly, Bhagavan is telling that either Nishkam Karma Yoga or Bhakti Yoga, you should select one and follow that. Because then only your determination will be correct and then you will be peaceful. Without that, your intelligence will keep wavering. So in this verse, Bhagavan explained that spiritual intelligence is one pointed and the intelligence of sense enjoyment that Bhagavan will explain in the upcoming verses.
आगे के 3 श्लोक बोल रहे हैं कि यामिमां पुष्पितां वाचं प्रवदन्त्यविपश्चितः वेदवादरथा पार्थ नान्यदस्तीति वादिनः कामात्मानः स्वर्गपरा जन्मकर्मफलप्रदां क्रियाविशेषबहुलां भोगैश्वर्यगतिं प्रति। हे अर्जुन, जो अविवेकी
Translation: O Arjun, the unwise who are attached to the evanescent goals described in the Vedas, who claim that the Vedas are concerned with nothing other than this, who are full of material desires and who are intent upon the attainment of heaven, utter the flowery words of the Vedas concerning various special rites that are directed towards the acquisition of pleasure and power and which result in rebirth and perpetuation of the cycle of karma.
तो यहाँ पर जो अव्यवसायत्मिका बुद्धि है उसके बारे में वर्णन कर।
So here Bhagavan is explaining the avyavasayitmika buddhi, the buddhi aimed at sense enjoyment. That is what he is describing here. Because when Bhagavan narrated the Gita, that time in the land of Bharata, Varnashram dharma was spread everywhere. People used to follow Varnashram dharma and Vedas were followed, they were respected. Vedas were regarded as the source of all knowledge. So in Ved also, both types of determinations are explained. If you see the Vedas, their topics can be divided into two. One is Karma Kanda and other is Jnana Kanda. One part of the Ved, which is towards sense enjoyment, and the other is towards liberation. Like I explained in the beginning of this course, that every Ved has 4 parts: Samhita, Brahman, Aranyak, and Upanishad. So the first 3, Samhita, Brahman, and Aranyak, they are aimed towards karma, sense enjoyment, and the Upanishad is Gyan Parayana, that is aimed towards liberation. Like Dharma, Artha, Kama is one division and Moksha is the other division. Similarly, Ved also has 4 divisions and they are in 2 categories. One towards karma, one towards jnana. Almost 95% of the Ved is towards karma and remaining around 5% is towards liberation. The reason is that most of the people are attached to sense objects. So Vedas want to bring them slowly towards the Gyan Marg.
परोक्षवादो वेदोयम बालानामनुशासनम कर्म मोक्षाय कर्माणि विधत्ते ही अगदो यथा। भगवान उद्धव को बताते हैं,
Bhagavan tells to Uddhav ji in Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam that Veda is Parokshavad. Parokshavad means that whatever Ved wants to give to us, Ved does not speak about it directly. Ved speaks of it indirectly. What is the reason? The reason is that Ved, although it is the word of God, what Ved wants to give us, we do not want to accept it. And what we want to accept, Ved does not want to give it. what Bhagavan actually wants to give to us, we do not want that. And what we desire, that is what Bhagavan does not desire to give to us. So then what to do? One is that we give up all Shastra. So Bhagavan, who is very merciful, Bhagavan only takes a humble position and he says that, okay, whatever you want, I will take, I will give you. But along with that, what I want to give, I will give that also. So that some person may accept it. So the people who are worldly minded, they just want sense enjoyment. They do not want bhakti. So Bhagavan gives them objects of sense enjoyment, but gives in such a way that their life becomes disciplined. It becomes regulated. The sense enjoyment in this world can be done in an indisciplined way or in a regulated way also. So Bhagavan says, okay, you want to enjoy with senses, so do that, but do it in a regulated way. It will benefit you. It will help you. Today in this world, sense enjoyment is available in extreme quantity. Go even in small cities, we have such big malls. Earlier, it was not like that. Earlier, people were not so wealthy, so that's why they did not have so many opportunities of sense enjoyment also. So many malls and markets are there now. And that is also not needed. You just have Amazon.com, you can order whatever you like. So what does it prove? It proves that people have more wealth now. Otherwise, how would these shops and malls and online stores sustain? People are manufacturing so many products because there are consumers for such products, which means that today lot of sense enjoyment is available, but unfortunately people do not know how to utilize these objects of sense enjoyment. That is why Bhagavan says that learn to utilize these sense objects properly. If you do the bhog properly, then you will enter in yoga. But if you misuse this bhog, then you will enter into rog, that is disease. So from bhog, which is sense enjoyment, you can go to yoga also, or you can go to rog, that is disease also. So today mostly people are getting in diseased. Why? Because they do not know how to how much and how to do sense enjoyment. They are doing all kinds of sense enjoyment in a very unregulated way. Nobody is living by principles, by rules and regulations. That is why diseases are spreading so rampantly. Today, even the young people, they are suffering from high blood pressure, heart diseases, stress. All these problems are increasing. Why? Because of unregulated diet, unregulated lifestyle. So when Bhagavan will say later that Yukta Hara Viharasya, there Yukta comes from, the word Yukta comes from yoga. It means to do everything in a regulated way, balanced way. We are not doing that today. That is why we are suffering from so many problems, so many diseases. And this will keep increasing because people have a very shortcut way of solving these problems. Just take some tablet. So biggest problem is that of food habit. Nowadays, people do not want to cook in their home. They order from outside. So now whatever they will take from outside, who knows what it will be. Obviously, one thing is sure that it will not be fresh. When you cook in your home, then that food is fresh. In India, mostly whatever people eat, they cook it fresh and then they eat. Not that they cook, keep in refrigerator and just utilize it till 1 week. But I have seen in foreign countries people do like this. But in India, it's not like that. Every day in the morning, fresh food will be cooked. In evening also, fresh cooking will be done again. But when you eat from outside, then there is nothing fresh in that. And you are ordering in the morning, evening, what is mixed in that? How do you know? So this is unregulated
कारण क्या है?
lifestyle,
उसका
unregulated
कारण
diet.
बता रहे हैं।
So what is the reason for that? That reason, the root cause of that
पुष्पिता
is being explained here.
ये
That
बहुत
is Pushpita
सुंदर
Vacham.
शब्द भगवान ने प्रयोग किया, याम इमाम पुष्पिताम वाचम।
Bhagavan has
प्रभु
explained
कहते हैं
very
कि अविपश्चित,
nice word.
अविपश्चित माने मूर्ख लोग,
He says Avipashchita. Avipashchita means
जिनकी
foolish
बुद्धि नहीं
people
है,
who are too
किसको कहते
many
हैं? जो बुद्धि
in
का
this
प्रयोग
world.
नहीं करता।
Who is a fool who doesn't use
तो
his
अविपश्चित लोग
intelligence?
जो है वो कहते हैं कि वेद में तो केवल
The
एक पुष्पिता
Avipashchit
वाणी है।
people, the foolish people, they say
जैसे पहले
that
वेद थे,
Vedas just have
तो
these
वेद
flowery
में
words.
बड़े बड़े
So like
यज्ञ
Ved
होता
was there
करते थे,
earlier. So in Ved
उसमें
there
कोई
are
पुष्पिता वाणी
descriptions
नहीं
of
है,
huge
अर्थवाद है,
yajnas,
उसकी बड़ी
and then
प्रशंसा
there
होती
are
है कि
statements
आप
of glorification,
ये स्वर्ग प्राप्त
arthavad,
कीजिए, आप स्वर्ग चले
that
जाएंगे,
you do
आपको
this
स्वर्ग
yajna, you will achieve
आप वहाँ
swarga, you will get
मिलेंगे।
apsaras, and there
तो
you
इसको
will
बोलते हैं
drink
पुष्पिता
nectar.
वाणी।
So this is called
यानी कि
Pushpita
शब्द
Vani.
क्या है?
There's a
वो
flowery
पुष्प की तरह
words.
है, फूल है,
The words are like
लेकिन फल नहीं है।
flowers. They have flower, but there is no fruit.
जब पेड़ लगाते हैं तो पेड़ में
When you
फूल आता है, उसके
plant
बाद
a
फल आता
tree,
है,
then
लेकिन
first
ऐसा
flower
पेड़
comes and then
अगर
fruit.
आम का पेड़ है, उसमें फूल आए केवल फल ना आए, तो उसकी
Suppose
क्या
you plant a mango tree and you just get flower but no fruit, then what is
तो
its
वही
value?
पुष्पिता वाणी है।
So that is the flowery
तो
words.
कहते हैं कि ये लोग इस पुष्पिता वाणी की बात करते रहते हैं।
So Bhagavan is telling
और
that people
वेद
simply
भाषा
keep talking of
अन्य
these
दृष्टि थी।
kind of
तो
statements.
ये जो अविपश्चित लोग हैं,
So
मूर्ख
these
लोग हैं,
foolish
वो
people,
वेदवाद रता है,
they
सारे
are
वाद में लगे हुए हैं, यानी अर्थवाद,
Vedavadarata. They are
वास्तुवाद,
just engaging in
उसी में लिप्त
glorification.
रहते हैं। वो कहते हैं बस कर्म ही है, ये यज्ञ
They
करना,
say
फिर
that
सिद्धि प्राप्त
it is
करना,
just
यहाँ यज्ञ
karma,
करना, फिर स्वर्ग
just do
जाना,
the yajna, then enjoy,
राज्य करना।
go to
कई
Swarga.
प्रकार के यज्ञ हैं, पशु काम,
So all these different types
पुत्र
of yajnas are there.
राज्य काम,
Putra Gishti
स्वर्ग।
Yajna, Rajya Kama Yajna,
तो जैसे
yajnas for many things,
हमारी
for obtaining son, for
धारणा ये
obtaining
है कि आपको
kingdom,
कुछ भी प्राप्त
so
करना
many
है तो उसके
things.
लिए धन
Like
चाहिए,
today,
पैसा
the
कमाओ।
concept is that whatever
हर
you
एक
want,
व्यक्ति पैसा
earn wealth.
कमाने में लगा हुआ है,
Everyone is
किसी
engaged
एक
in
देश में लोग
earning
पैसा
wealth.
कमाने में लगे
Every
हैं,
person has
हर
only
नौकरी
one
करते हैं।
goal, to earn
पूरी
money,
दुनिया एक बाजार बन
from
गई है,
child
हर
to
एक
old
आदमी
age, old
बेचने में लगा
person.
हुआ, अपने को
The whole
बेचना
world
है।
has become a market. Everyone is
सब लोग
trying to sell
प्रोफाइल बना
himself.
के
Everyone makes his
इंस्टाग्राम पे
profile,
ये वो क्या,
Instagram, and all kinds of things. Why?
अपने को दिखाने के लिए कि
We are
मैं
trying to
बहुत
sell
बड़ा हूँ,
ourselves. We are
मेरे को कुछ पैसा
showing
चाहिए।
ourselves off.
अल्टीमेटली
See
उद्देश्य
how
यही
great
है।
I am. So ultimately, this is the
पहले
objective.
हमारे भारत में धारणा ये थी कि आपको कुछ भी
So
प्राप्त
earlier,
करना है तो आप यज्ञ
the
कीजिए,
concept in
इसलिए
India
यज्ञ
was that
पुरुषो
whatever you
यज्ञ
want,
च प्रजापति
for that you should perform a
यज्ञ
yajna.
वो इष्ट कामधुक। भगवान कहेंगे कि ये यज्ञ जो है ये
One will say
कामधुक है,
that
ये आपकी
yajna
कामनाओं को
is kamadhuk.
पूर्ति
It
करने वाला है।
fulfills our desires.
तो ये हमारे वेद की विधि थी,
So
जो
this was the Veda
हमारी
Vidhi.
संस्कृति
It
को
was
जानने
the
वाले लोग
injunction in
कहते
Ved.
हैं कि वेद में जो
Those who
विधि
had
बताई गई
faith
उससे हमारी
in the
पूर्ति
Vedic
प्राप्त
culture,
होगी, और
they
उसके लिए वो यज्ञ करते थे या जो भी
they
नियम
said
बताए
that
उसका पालन
in
करते
order
थे।
to fulfill our
तो
desire,
इससे
we should
हम
perform the
कामनाओं
Vedic
को पूरा
yajna.
करते हैं।
And then they
पुष्पिता
also
इसलिए
used
कहते हैं कि
to
उसका अंत में
get that
परिणाम
desire
कुछ नहीं
fulfilled
होता।
actually. Now Pushpita Vacham
इसलिए
means that there is no result. It's just statement of
लेकिन उनकी
glorification.
रुचि इसी में
So you
थी कि
remain
ये
there
योग
only.
परायण बुद्धि
But
है, योगाश्रायत इनका बुद्धि जो बताई भगवान ने उसकी
this
तरफ
was their
चले।
interest.
और जैसे पहले वेद था,
So like earlier there was Ved.
वेद आज आज का वेद, पुराने जमाने का वेद आज का वेदियो हो गया।
So today it is video. What was earlier Ved, it is like
तो
today
उसमें
it is like a video.
पुष्पिता वाणी है उसमें,
So in video also
यानी कि
there are a lot of
विज्ञापन
flowery
टाइप के
statements,
विज्ञापन जो
all
होते
types
हैं
of
वो पुष्पिता
advertisements
वाणी है।
which we see. They are
कोई भी
Pushpita Vani,
एडवर्टाइजमेंट आएगी,
statements
आती
of
गई आती रहती है।
just flowery
आपके
statements.
आप कंप्यूटर पे अपनी ईमेल पे जाओ तो वहाँ भी एडवर्टाइजमेंट की दो चार लाइन ऊपर रहती है, आती
So if
रहती
you,
है।
even if you open email, there will be
तो
some two
ये
statements
जो
on the top
पुष्पिता
which
वाणी
will be
है,
of advertisement.
इसको आप खोलिए
This
तो
is
उसमें
Pushpita
पूरा
Vani,
ऐसे
flowery
समझाया होगा
statement.
कि
So if
आपको
you
क्यों ये
open
चीज़
that,
खरीदनी
very
चाहिए,
nicely it will be
या क्यों
explained
आपको ये
why we
वीडियो
should
देखनी
purchase
चाहिए,
this, why you should
खरीदनी
watch
चाहिए।
this video, watch till the end,
अरे इसको बंद मत करना।
don't stop this.
तो कोई तो ये भी करता, अरे अपनी उंगली वहां क्यों ले जा रहे आप।
So people also tell you, why are you suddenly swiping till the end? They want that you should hear their flowery statements because they have spent their money for these advertisements.
उससे फिर प्रभावित होके हम भी
So
वही
then
बात
we get
करने लगते हैं,
influenced by that,
हम भी
and then we
वीडियो
also
वाद
become
वाला
like
हो जाते हैं,
video vadarata.
उसी की बात करते हैं ना, फिर दूसरों को भेजेंगे
We
वही
keep
चीज
talking of
सीखेंगे,
those videos, we send those videos to
चलते रहेंगे, कोई
others.
ना कोई कुछ ना कुछ
So
भेजता
all
ही
this
रहता
keeps
है,
going on. Somebody
देखते
keeps
चलते
sending
हैं।
something or the other.
तो उससे फिर आपकी बुद्धि क्या है, हाँ यार
So
ये
then
करना
what
चाहिए,
happens? Then your intelligence
रहेगा कि
gets
आप अपने आप
influenced.
रोक
You
नहीं
start
पाएंगे
thinking
उसको,
that, yeah, this is right.
ये क्या घृत कुमारी का जूस पीना चाहिए, इससे
Somebody says that every
इस
day
तरह की
after
कोई
waking up,
कहेगा
you
नहीं
should
रोक
drink this
लीजिए, पर
particular type of juice, or you should
दूसरा कोई
consume this
बोलता है
neem
कि
leaf,
रात को जो है
or somebody will
सौंफ
say
गर्म
that
पानी में डाल के भिगो दो,
at the
सुबह
night
उठ के
before going to
पियो,
sleep,
कोई कहेगा
you should make some
तो
kind of medication, and in the
ये
morning you
सबसे
should
बड़े
drink
जो
that.
हैं, ये तो मैं अच्छे उदाहरण
All
बताया,
these are good examples. These are actually good. I am giving
हमारे
the
संस्कृति के
good
उदाहरण हैं
examples
आयुर्वेद
which
के,
are from our
इसी तरह
Vedic
से
culture.
एक
These are
चीज
from
को लेकर
Ayurved.
के कोई
But like
कहेगा
this,
सातों
so
रश्मि
many
अच्छी
things
होती
are
है,
going on. Somebody
कोई कहेगा
keeps
एप्पल साइडर
talking of
पियो,
this or that. Somebody will say drink apple cider
कोई कुछ और बताएगा,
or something else.
फिर दूसरा वाला उसका उल्टा बताएगा,
Then somebody will speak the opposite thing, that no,
तो
it's not
एक
like
व्यक्ति तो
this. Don't do
ये बता
this.
रहा था कि खाना खाने
So
के
one
बाद
person
बिल्कुल
was
नहीं उठना
saying
चाहिए
that
दाहिनी
after
ओर, दूसरा वाला कह रहा था नहीं यार
having
बिल्कुल
food,
उठना
you
ही
should
चाहिए,
lie down on the left
आगे बढ़के
side.
चलना
The
चाहिए,
other person
तीसरा वाला
says that
कहता
no, you should
नहीं
actually
बिल्कुल भी
walk.
नहीं चाहिए,
The third person says that no, walking is not at all
तो
recommended after having food.
आपका बुद्धि इससे हो जाएगी आपकी कि आप क्या करें,
So then your intelligence will get divided. You will
पुष्पिता
get
वाणी में
confused. What should I do? So this is
तो हमारे
Pushpita
वेदों
Vani,
में ऐसे
flowery words.
बहुत वाणियां
So
हैं,
in Vedas, there are
इसी
many
के
such
बारे में
statements
भगवान
of
कह रहे हैं, पुराने
glorification,
जमाने में
and
लोग
Bhagwan is
बड़े
speaking regarding that.
अनुयायी थे,
And in the earlier
उसमें और
times,
उसमें
people were
अंतर क्या है कि ये जो
very much
वेद की
strict
वाणी
about
है,
following
अगर इससे
the
आपको
Vedic words.
फल प्राप्त करना है तो उसके लिए आपको नियम का पालन करना पड़ेगा,
Now, actually, in order to
मिलेगा नहीं
follow the
उससे
words
बिना
of the Vedas, one has
नियम
to
के,
become very regulated and
और
disciplined.
नियमित जीवन बिताने से आपका आपकी वो एक
When
आदत
one
बन जाएगी,
will
स्वभाव
follow a
बन जाएगा
regulated
नियमित
lifestyle,
जीवन बिताने का,
then that will
और
become a
आपको
habit,
उसमें आनंद आने लगेगा,
and then you will
फिर
derive
आपको
pleasure in
समझेगा
that.
कि वास्तव में
And then later you will
समस्या ही
realize
है,
that in Veda there is the other part
उसकी बात
also,
करता है,
which talks of
भगवान
liberation, which talks of
वेद के
moksha.
माध्यम से आपको विषय
So
ज्ञान
Bhagavan,
देकर फिर आपको विषय
by the
संसार में
medium of Veda, by giving
तो
the
बताता
sense
है कि
objects, he actually
आत्मा
wants to
विधत्ते ही
remove you
प्रकृति,
from that.
श्लोक में भगवान कहते हैं
Bhagavan
मैं
says
वास्तव में कर्म
that
का विधान,
I have
कर्म का
given
मतलब है सकाम कर्म से,
I have given this law of karma.
सकाम
So
कर्म का
here he is
विधान
talking about
मैंने ही
Sakam
विधान किया
karma.
है,
In Veda, I have only talked of
ताकि
Sakam
आप
karma,
सकाम कर्म से आपकी मुक्ति
and
हो,
the purpose is that you get
सकाम कर्म
liberated
से
from
छुड़ाना
Sakam
चाहते हैं
karma.
आपको, लेकिन
He
उसके लिए
actually
पहले
wants to
सकाम
free
कर्म
you
से
from
लिबरेट
Sakam
करो, उसको
karma.
करो,
But before
उससे फिर
liberating
आप
you from that,
प्रकृति
he is actually
से वापस
recommending you to do that. There is lot of glorification of this Sakam karma in the way that
अमर हो जाएंगे,
if you drink the
यही जो मैं बता रहा था कि भगवान
Somaras, you
कहते
will
हैं
become
नियम ठीक
immortal.
है,
So what I
हाँ
was telling that he
इंद्रियां ठीक है हमारी
wants
ये
to
सब
give
के
us
लिए, लेकिन
immortality,
उनका
but we
उद्देश्य क्या
want
है
sense
कि हम
enjoyment.
उसमें से मुक्त हो जाएं, तो उसके
But
लिए
why is he giving us sense enjoyment? Because he actually
बच्चे
wants
को
us
भी
to be freed from that. So the
उसको
example is
कहते
like
हैं कि
if a child is sick, and if you want to
ये
administer him a medicine,
तो फिर
but the
उसको कड़वी
medicine
दवाई को आप लड्डू
is
में
not
मिलाते हैं
sweet,
उसको, तो मीठी
then
उसको पसंद नहीं
you
है,
mix some sweet
आपका
in that,
उद्देश्य उसको मीठा खिलाना नहीं है, आपका उद्देश्य
but
उसको
you are
कड़वी दवा
mixing the
खिलाना है,
sweet
कड़वी दवा वो
only
इसलिए खाता
because
है,
you know that he will take this medicine only if he is given
अब क्या
sweet.
करें वो तो अपनी
But
जगह
your
ठीक है, हम तो
objective is not
अपने
actually to give him
बीच का
sweet.
रास्ता अपनाते हैं कि
So
नहीं
that's why you take a humble
मीठा ही
stand and
खिलाएंगे,
follow the middle path, that I give you the medicine
कैप्सूल
also.
बना दिए, पहले कैप्सूल नहीं थे तो यही कैप्सूल था पहले,
Along with that, I
मीठे
give
के
some
बीच में
sweet
मिठाई
also.
के बीच में कड़वी दवा,
So nowadays we
तो
have
उसका
capsules, we
उद्देश्य
don't
क्या है
feel the
कि
bitter
मीठा
taste.
खिलाना
But
नहीं है,
earlier
उसका रोग
there
दूर
used to
करना
be
है,
mostly syrups which were bitter in taste.
तो यही तरीका जो है वो वेद ने अपनाया,
So Veda has also followed this
अनुशासित करने के लिए,
method. to regulate the lifestyle of human beings.
मनुष्य बच्चे की तरह ही हैं,
Because human beings
उनको
are
कहा
like
जाए कि
children
शासन
only.
किया जाए,
So
उनकी
how
भलाई
to
हो।
regulate them for
बच्चे तो
their
अनुशासन
benefit?
में रहना नहीं पसंद करते हैं,
Like a child does
वो
not want
देखेंगे
to live
चैट
follow any
करते रहेंगे, जो
discipline.
भी कुछ
Whole
करेंगे।
night he wants to keep
लेकिन अगर
chatting
उनको
or
अच्छा
watching
अच्छा शासन किया
videos.
जाए तो उनको
But
बुद्धि
how to
विकसित होगी,
regulate
अगर
him
तुम
or
जल्दी सो
her?
जाओगे तो
Then
आपको ये मिलेगा।
you give
तो
him
आपके
some,
उपदेश से
tell him
बुद्धि
of
बन
some
जाएगी,
benefit that
मजबूत हो
if you
जाएगी।
sleep early, if you wake
जैसे
up
जैसे
early, I will
बड़ा
give
होगा
you
उसको
this
समझ आएगा कि
gift.
ठीक है, नियमित जीने से अच्छा स्वास्थ्य
So
रहता है।
then he becomes regulated, and as he keeps following that lifestyle, when he grows up, he realizes that it is good for my health to follow a regulated lifestyle. So similarly, here also Bhagavan is explaining.
वेदवाद रता पार्थ नान्यदस्ति थी वादिन। तो जो वेदवादी हैं,
So those who are the Vedavadis, they
जिनको
glorify
नहीं
this
समझ
a
में
lot.
आया इसके बारे में,
Those who have
क्या
not
होता है उनको
understood
समझ
the
आएगा कि
real
फिर
purpose of the Vedas. Because if they would have understood the real
आगे
purpose, they would have left
तदा
this.
गन्ता
Bhagavan will
सत्यम
explain that later.
श्रुतस्य च, कि फिर वो निर्वेद हो जाते हैं,
Then they become
वेद को
Nirved.
छोड़ के निर्वेद।
Leaving
तो
Ved,
उनकी
they
रुचि
become
वेद में नहीं
Nirved.
रहती है,
Meaning that now they do not have desire for this sakam
इसकी
karma.
अपेक्षा नहीं रखते। श्रोतस्य श्रुतस्य
And they
च,
do
जो
not
उन्होंने
expect
सुना
these
है
material
उन्हें
benefits.
आगे सुनते
So
रहेंगे,
whatever they have
आगे
heard
सुनते
till
चलेंगे।
now,
तो उनकी बुद्धि निष्ठ
or they will hear later also,
एकात्मक, जो व्यवसात्मिक बुद्धि बन जाती है। तो
so
ये
their
है
intelligence
वेद का
becomes one
रहस्य।
pointed. This is the secret of Ved.
मतलब ये तंत्र मंत्र, ये जो बताया जाता है, इसकी पूजा
All the
करो,
tantra mantra which are said that do
इसको
this
आप करोगे
puja,
तो
this
ये फल
tantra
मिलेगा,
mantra, if you do this, you will get this
संडे
or get
रविवार
that.
करो,
On Saturday, you worship
भोग
Shanidev.
लगाओ।
On
तो उसका
Tuesday,
उद्देश्य यही
make
है
an offering
कि
to
आपको
Hanumanji.
ठीक है, आप अपनी समस्या का समाधान कर
So
लिए,
that is okay, you get
लेकिन
your
इसका
problem solved.
असली
But
समाधान तब मिलेगा
ultimately,
जब आपकी
the
बुद्धि जो है
solution is
एकात्मक हो
only
जाएगी भगवान
when
में।
you
इसलिए
uh,
गीता में भगवान
become
कहते हैं
fixed
कि
up
आत्म
on
संयम
Bhagavan
परित्यज्य
with
मामेकम
one
शरणं
pointed
व्रज।
intelligence.
तो वहां तक ले जाने के
That's
लिए
why at the end Bhagavan says that
अभ्यास
Mamekam
करना है।
Sharanam Vraja. So Bhagavan is doing all this
जिसके
hard
लिए
work to
योग
take the
बनाई गई
human
है,
being
अगर
till
उसको
that
बात
point
समझ
of
में नहीं आएगी,
Mamekam Sharanam
अपेक्षा
Vraja.
नहीं आएगी, तो
But
फिर यही
the
कहेंगे
person whose
कि
intelligence cannot
थोड़ा
grasp
आप
this point,
नियम से उपयोग
for
कीजिए
him
ताकि
Bhagavan
आपका
gives
मार्ग
sense
प्रशस्त हो,
enjoyment,
आपकी बुद्धि
but
ना
he
भटके।
lays a condition that you
तो ये
have to
उनका
do this
विधान
with
है।
a regulated lifestyle. So that is his
अगर
mercy
फिर दूसरे
upon the
श्लोक में
human
कहते हैं
being.
कामात् मानः
So
स्वर्गपरा
then
जन्म कर्म फल प्रदान क्रिया
in
विशेष प्रभाव
43 he
योग
is telling,
गतिम प्रति। तो ये लोग जो है ये कामात्मान है,
these are the
यानी इनके अंतःकरण में
Kamatmans,
काम ही घुसा हुआ है।
means they are full of
काम
material desires.
उसके आगे उनकी बुद्धि
Kama
चलती
means
ही नहीं
sense
है।
enjoyment. Their
जब वो
intelligence doesn't
उनको धर्म
function
के बारे में, भगवान
beyond
के बारे
sense
में
enjoyment. There
बताओ,
are many people, if you
तुरंत
tell
रुचि
them
दिखाते
anything
हैं,
about dharma, about
उसके बाद
Bhagavan,
उनको
they will
रुचि नहीं
start
होती है।
falling asleep.
लेकिन
They
अगर
do not
उससे
have
आप
any
बात
interest
करो,
in that. But
खाना
if you
बनाना,
talk of sense
ये
enjoyment,
खाना है, एंजॉय
food,
करना है, ये खाना, ये करना,
wandering, going here and there,
तो उसमें
enjoying,
बहुत रुचि रहेगी।
then they have lot of
तो
interest in
ऐसे
that.
लोगों को बोलते हैं कामात्मा।
These people are
और
called
स्वर्ग परा,
Kamatmanas.
स्वर्ग परा का
They
मतलब
are
है कि
intent upon
उनकी
achieving Swarga.
परायणता, उनकी निष्ठा स्वर्ग
Their
में है।
dedication
तो स्वर्ग
is
कोई
for
साधारण विषय
attaining
इसलिए नहीं
Swarga.
है
So Swarga is not just
जिसको
a
जाके स्वर्ग में,
physical
स्वर्ग का मतलब है
location,
सुख।
a physical place.
सुखम
Swarga
दुखेन
means
समुत्थम
Sukha,
अनयग्रस्तम अनामयम
happiness.
अभिलाषोपनीतम च तत्स्वास्पदास्पदम। तो स्वर्ग का मतलब होता है जिसमें दुख ना हो और सुख हो।
Swarga means that which has happiness,
तो
no suffering.
पहले स्वर्ग को लोग ये सोचते थे कि कहीं
Earlier,
आश्रम होंगे,
people used
राज
to
होंगे।
think about Swarga, that
आजकल
Swarga
सभी
is
लोग
just
यहाँ
a
पर सोचते हैं पृथ्वी पर
physical
कि हम
place above.
यहाँ,
Nowadays, people
यहाँ क्या है, चलो अमेरिका
say
चलते हैं,
that
वहाँ
this
स्वर्ग
itself
है।
is Swarga, let's go
किसी
to
दूसरे देश में जाते हैं,
America, that is
वहाँ
like
स्वर्ग है। उसी
heavenly.
को स्वर्ग समझते हैं ना, भारत
They
में रहना
consider that
स्वर्ग है,
as Swarga.
विदेश जाना स्वर्ग समझते हैं।
For Indians, going to some foreign country is
पहले
like
भारत के लोग जो है
Swarga.
कहीं जाना स्वर्ग समझते थे,
Earlier, Indians
अब
used
जो
to
है विदेश
desire
जाना स्वर्ग
for
समझते हैं।
Swarga, which is above somewhere.
अमेरिका चले गए तो स्वर्ग
Now,
पहुंच गए।
for them,
इसके लिए
attaining
लोग प्रयास
Swarga
करते हैं। तो
is like
स्वर्ग
going to some foreign country.
कामात्मा ना,
So
और
they are
उनका
Swarga
मन
para.
उसी में लगा रहता है कि किस
Their
तरह
mind
जाएं।
is absorbed there only.
इसलिए वो जब
How can I settle in
पढ़ेंगे,
some foreign
मेहनत
country?
करेंगे,
For that only they plan. I will
परिश्रम
study
करेंगे,
this. I will write some competitive exams.
विदेश चले जाएं, स्वर्ग पहुंच जाएं।
I'll work hard so
तो
that
इसका
I
फल
can
प्रदान
settle
क्या
down in
होता है?
some
जन्म
foreign
कर्म फल
country.
प्रदान। इसका
And
फल
then
क्या
what is
होता
the
है?
result?
पुष्पिता वाचन।
The result? The phala of what was told earlier, the Pushpita Vacham flowery words, was that according to your karma, you will achieve next birth, and then you keep continuing in this cycle of birth and death in this world.
और इसके लिए आपको बहुत क्रियाएं करनी पड़ेंगी.
For this, you have to perform lot of special kriya, special rites.
और यज्ञ करना कोई
In the olden times, lots of yagyas were performed, and conducting one yagya is also not so easy. You have to uh, aggregate lot of ingredients, and then there are a lot of rules and regulations for yagyas. The purpose of laying down those rules and regulations was that your life becomes disciplined.
खाली क्रिया बहुल नहीं है, क्रिया
And this is not just many kriyas, these are kriya vishesh. Special types of rites have to be performed.
तो आपको ये खाना, ये नहीं खाना, बैंगन मत खाइए.
If you have to do some yajna, then it is told that you cannot eat brinjal, you cannot sleep in the daytime, you cannot speak lie. There were a lot of these rules which were to be followed by people who got diksha into the yajna. Otherwise, you don't get the result. So today, the rules are different. If you consider going to foreign country like Swarga, then also you have to work very hard. You have to do a lot of things, write this TOEFL exam or this exam, whatever other exams, GRE, etc. are there.
GRE, GMAT, TOEFL, ये सब.
And when I was studying, these exams were there, GRE, GMAT, TOEFL, etc. So you have to clear these exams, and then you have to apply in the foreign universities, pay the fees. Then also you are not sure whether you will clear, your name will be there in the admission list or no.
उसका उद्देश्य वही भोग है, जिसका परिणाम है रोग और ऐश्वर्य.
So purpose of doing all this is sense enjoyment, bhog, and then bhog leads to rog, that is disease.
जिनसे आप इंद्रिय प्रीति प्राप्त कर सकते. जिन वस्तुओं से
Bhoga means obtaining objects of sense enjoyment by which we can give pleasure to our senses. That is bhog. And for getting bhoga, for getting these objects of sense enjoyment, you need money. For that, you need wealth. That is why a human being's mind is into these two things, wealth and sense enjoyment. First, earn money and then fulfill the material desires.
उनका मतलब जैसे उनका स्वरूप, उनका जीवन, उनकी सत्ता.
So their whole life, it's like their whole existence is for wealth and sense enjoyment only.
बुद्धि इसी में लगी रहती है.
Their mind is always into
इसके
this.
बगैर वो जी नहीं सकते.
They can't live without this.
इसके आगे उनकी कुछ भी सोच नहीं होती.
They cannot think beyond this.
अध्यात्म के बारे में, आत्मा, परमात्मा, भगवान, वैकुंठ, भक्ति इत्यादि के बारे में कुछ भी समझाएंगे तो उनके दिमाग में घुसेगा नहीं, समझ में नहीं आएगी. तो
if you try to teach them about Atma, Paramatma, etc., they won't understand. This won't fit in their intelligence. So this is what Bhagavan is explaining here, and it doesn't give a good result because this is all temporary.
टिकाऊ नहीं है.
It's not permanent.
और जब आप भोग करते हैं तो वो भोग भी जो है,
When you engage in sense enjoyment, then
दुख से मिश्रित रहता है.
that sense enjoyment, that bhoga, is always mixed with suffering. Some type of anxiety is always there in that.
ट्राई करके भोग में क्या करते हैं, कुछ पीते हैं.
That is why people mostly get into drinking alcohol,
अफीम, चरस, गांजा खा.
or they start taking drugs. Why do they do this type of sense enjoyment? Because it makes you forget your anxieties. So this is not some bhog in reality. This is not actually sense enjoyment. This is simply going more and more deep into ignorance. So Veda does not give this type of bhog. It does not pollute your intelligence. The sense enjoyment of Veda that Veda is giving is different. Today, what sense enjoyment we are doing, it puts us into ignorance. It makes us addicted, makes us diseased, and then we cannot live without those types of sense enjoyment. And then the cycle of birth and death continues, and the next birth that we will get, it is not guaranteed that we will get it will be human birth only. We can get born into some animal species also. So actually, this bhog buddhi, this intellect which is aimed at sense enjoyment, this is what later Bhagavan will speak of as asuri buddhi, demoniac intelligence. When Bhagavan will describe the asuri buddhi, the intellect aimed, which is of demoniac type, such people earn wealth by illegal, unethical means, and then corruption increases in the society. And then we know what is the result. Someday or the other, that person will be caught. That's why we see all so many big people, people of big positions, they get jailed. That is because of earning money by illegal means. And they always have fear within because they may be caught anytime. Because any person who is earning wealth illegally, he will always have fear to get caught by the police. And even if the police of this society does not catch this person, at least Bhagwan's law of karma will never fail. So that person will definitely get punished by the law of karma. So that person cannot escape from the result of the karma. So people do not think about this seriously. That's why later Bhagavan will say that you should perform the proper karma. If you perform improper karma, then you have to suffer here. So why to fall in trouble? So in these two verses, Bhagavan explains the avyavasayatmaka buddhi which or intellect which is multi-branched, which is divided, and it will not give proper result. That's why it is avipashchit, means it is not that person doesn't have long-term vision.
कोई विषलता है, कोई क्रीपर है, बेल है, उसमें बहुत अच्छे फूल लगे हुए हैं.
So suppose there is a creeper and it has got lot of beautiful flowers,
विषप्रद है,
but they are poisonous. If you touch them or if you smell them, then they have poison in them. So they can cause your death also.
तो इस प्रकार की वाणी जो है वो
So this kind of statements are there in the Vedas also, and nowadays we hear a lot of them.
तो इसलिए
So that is why
भगवान कहते हैं कि
Bhagavan says that we should not get influenced by this.
और कर्म जो है वो
This is his purpose, and ultimately our ultimate goal should be to attain Bhagavan, and we should perform karma for that only. We should act accordingly so that we can attain Bhagavan. Because if the goal is only sense enjoyment, then animals and birds, they can do it much better than human beings. So that means in human form of life, if we have the faculty of speech, etc., then that means our goal, our purpose should be much greater than that of animals and birds. So Bhagavan will speak one more verse regarding this. We will take it up in the next class. If you have any question, you can ask now.
धन्यवाद बाबा जी. वैसे तो मैं ये अनुभव करता हूँ कि 5-6 बार जैसे लेक्चर को हो गया उससे अधिक भी सुनने में उत्तर मिल जाता है, लेकिन फिर कोई चीज़ ऐसा
question, many times I get answers by hearing your lectures themselves, but still I feel that I have some question because I might have missed something, or so I want to know.
भगवद गीता में जो पृष्ठ मुख्य पृष्ठ पे जो फोटो देखते हैं भगवान ने
the photo that we see on the cover page,
और लगाम
that Bhagavan is the charioteer
और
and he is
यात्री की तरह
holding the reins of the horses and the Atma is seated as a passenger.
इवन डिवोशन के अंदर भी हमें ऐसा लगता है कि हमने ही मन रूपी लगाम पकड़ी हुई है, हम ही बुद्धि को कंट्रोल कर रहे हैं। तो
So it seems as if we are only controlling the mind,
आने में क्या
intelligence. Is there lack of surrender or what?
आप जो कहें ना
अच्छा, हाँ, ठीक है।
हमने लगाम पकड़ी है, हमसे मतलब क्या है?
एज ए जनरल ये अगर मैं स्वयं को बोलूँ
नहीं क्या है, आप इतना विवेक कर रहे हैं, मन बुद्धि शरीर, तो ये हम क्या है? आपने तो हमको
अच्छा,
मन
अच्छा,
बुद्धि से
अच्छा।
अलग कर लिया ना, तो क्या क्या है वो?
So what is that we that you are telling, because you distinguished it from mind, intelligence, etc.
मन मेरे द्वारा
तो क्या है वो, उसी को तो मैं पूछ रहा हूँ। उस पर थोड़ा चिंतन करो कि क्या है, थोड़ा गहराई से सोचिए।
So you should deliberate on who you are. What is this I that you are distinguishing from mind, intelligence, etc.
नवीन जी पूछते हैं कि जब जीवा किसी क्षण पर
So question,
अनुभव करता है कि
once a jiva realizes even momentarily and decides to take bhakti yoga, pure devotional service, however, due to Sri Bhagavan's external energy, the three modes of material nature, it overwhelms the jiva's intelligence and determination. So question, then why doesn't Sri Bhagavan removes the material modes and put the jiva under his internal energy so that the jiva can peacefully execute devotional service without being bothered by modes and the mind
जो तीन गुण
getting
हैं,
influenced by those modes?
उनके प्रभाव में ना आ सके?
तो भगवान तो तैयार हैं, लेकिन आप छोड़ोगे तभी तो ना।
So answer, Bhagavan is ready to remove the influence of the modes, but you have to leave them.
तो हम पकड़े हुए हैं तीन गुणों को,
You are holding on tightly to the three.
भगवान कहते हैं पहले इसको छोड़ो तो तब मैं आपको दूं। आपके
So
पास
Bhagavan says that you give them up,
देना चाहते हैं,
then I will free you.
लेकिन आप
You decide to leave them up, leave them. Your glass is full of poison. First you throw away that poison, then I will fill the nectar.
फेंकना तो आपको पड़ेगा,
But so you have to throw that poison away.
कैसे देंगे? वो तो समझा रहे हैं आपको।
Bhagavan is ready to give the nectar, but you have to take the decision.
कि व्यवसायत्मिक बुद्धि होनी चाहिए, वो तो कह रहे हैं।
And for that, your intelligence should be one pointed. It should be one only.
मतलब अभी हुई नहीं है।
So so what you are saying, it means that your intelligence is still not one pointed.
उसको एक
Otherwise, you will move towards that direction only.
प्रश्न है, महाराज मैं एक छात्र हूँ और बाहर कॉलेज में अपनी पढ़ाई कर रहा हूँ। भगवान की
So
कृपा से
question, I am a student and I study in a college. By Bhagavan's kripa, I do Nam Jap, I have Kanti also. So but now because I stay outside, that even I don't want, but still I end up consuming onion, garlic. So what should I do? So answer, on what condition, situation you are getting influenced or doing like this, I don't know. So wherever you have facility to have food without this, then do that.
लेकिन उसमें गिल्टी होने की आवश्यकता नहीं
But
है।
but if you don't have any option, then you take it, but there is no reason to be guilty. Guilt should be there when you have facility of not consuming onion, garlic, and still you are consuming. That is wrong. But if you do not have any other option only, if you do not have the freedom to eat without onion, garlic, you have gone to some relative's house and they have cooked food with onion, garlic, and you do not have any freedom to not eat that, then what can be done? If you can tell them and you can make some other option, then okay. But if you cannot tell and there is no other option, then what to be done? As far as possible, try to stay away. But if there is no other option, then don't be under guilt.
प्रश्न है, क्या वेदों में मूर्ति पूजा का वर्णन है?
Question, is there a description of Murti Puja in Vedas? Answer: directly the Murti Puja description is not there in the Vedas. It is, you will get in the Puranas, etc.
ज्यादातर यज्ञ का है,
Vedas talk mostly of yajnas.
वर्णन नहीं है वैसा, लेकिन ऐसा नहीं
There
है
is
कि
no
भगवान
direct
का वर्णन
description
नहीं
of
है।
puja, but it is also not that Bhagwan's form is not explained.
सहस्र शीर्ष
In Purusha Sukta itself, this is
यज्ञ
described.
का मतलब होता है पूजा,
And yajna also means
शब्द जो है
puja.
वो यज धातु से बना है।
Yajna shabda is made from yaj
का
dhatu,
मतलब होता है देव
and
पूजा संगति का,
yaj means dev puja sangati karan dan.
तो पूजा शब्द तो उसी में ही आता है,
So puja
लेकिन
the word is
पहले
also from there only.
पूजा का इतना प्रचलन नहीं था।
Earlier, the Murti Puja was not worshipping Bhagwan's form. That was not so widespread. This description is in Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam.
प्राय त्रेता युग
Worshipping Bhagwan's form mostly
का कारण
started in the Treta Yuga, and the reason was that people started becoming envious of each other. That's why Bhagwan gave the Murti, and the Murti Puja system started. Before that, people were not envious. They lived peacefully in a friendly way.
आप ये समझिए कि जितनी भी विधि हैं, चाहे वो भक्ति
Such we should also understand that whether
ये हमेशा ही रही हैं,
it is of bhakti, Murti Puja, or anything, everything is, all of this is eternal.
प्रसिद्ध हो जाता
The only difference is that
दूसरा मार्ग
in different times and circumstances, one process becomes more prominent. So it is not that Murti Puja is not there in the Vedas. That description is also there.
तथा गुरु, ये तो उपनिषद में ही आया, उपनिषद में
Upanishad says, Yasya Deve Para Bhakti. So Upanishad is also part of Veda.
होता है, कोई यज्ञ करने
Yes. So bhakti means what? Bhakti means doing puja.
नहीं है कि बिल्कुल वर्णन नहीं है, लेकिन विधि
So it is not that the description is not that, but the Murti Puja Vidhi, the system, the rules that you understand of doing Aarti, etc., that is not so explicitly given in the Vedas.
प्रणाम बाबा जी महाराज। तो मेरा प्रश्न है कि आजकल प्राय जितने भी लोगों से हम मिलते हैं,
So question,
चारवाक फिलॉसफी में ही बिलीव करते हैं।
mostly people whom we meet today, they mostly believe in the philosophy of Charvaka. So if I discuss with them, I just say that my Shraddha is in Shastra, your Shraddha is in something else. So my question is that discussing with them, can we conclusively prove that if somebody has Shraddha in Charvaka, can it be proven to him that there is karma siddhanta in this world, there is something called afterlife?
उनको जस्ट छोड़ दिया जाए कि आपकी श्रद्धा जिसमें आप वो फॉलो करिए।
ये तो आपके ऊपर है, आप छोड़े ना छोड़ें, जो आपका प्रश्न है कि
So whether you argue with them or not, that is up to you. But the question whether it can be proven or not, you will get lot of shastras on Shad Darshanas are teaching this only. All the 6 darshanas have refuted Charvak.
सब खंडन करते हैं।
Whether you go to Yoga, Nyaya, etc., then you have to study those shastras.
अब आप तर्क
And
चारवाक दर्शन वाले केवल प्रत्यक्ष को मानते हैं,
Charvak, those who believe in Charvak, they just accept Pratyaksha.
जो कह रहे हैं चारवाक चारवाक चारवाक,
What you are talking about Charvak, these are not Charvakvadis. Have they studied any book of Charvak?
दिखा दो मेरे को जो कहे कि मैंने
Show me one person who says that I have studied the philosophy of Charvak.
प्रत्यक्ष प्रमाण को मानता है।
Charvak accepts only the Pratyaksha Praman. Do these people, they lead their life only on the basis of Pratyaksha? Nobody's life can continue only on the basis of Pratyaksha. When you go for taking an employment, how can you be sure that you will get your salary at the end of the month? It is only by Shabda Praman. How can you have Pratyaksha of that?
लेकिन ना आपने चारवाक पढ़ा है, ना उन्होंने चारवाक,
You have also not studied Charvak. That other person has also not studied Charvak. But you are talking that they are follower of Charvak. Neither you know Charvak nor that other person knows Charvak.
परंतु उनका तथ्य आमतौर पे ये होता है कि मृत्यु के बाद किसने क्या देखा है।
अरे तो ऐसे ही बोल रहा हूँ ना मैं, केवल एक शब्द कहने से कुछ नहीं होता है ना।
So they simply make some statement that after death, who has seen what happens? They simply speak like that. They don't have knowledge. first you should define mrityu, death. You should ask them, you are talking of, you are saying that there is nothing after death. What do you mean by death? Who is dying? Explain to me.
वो तो हमने पहले श्लोकों में पढ़ लिया कि ना तो भौतिक स्तर पे भी सब उसमें मिल रहा है पंच तत्व में, और आत्मा तो कभी मरती नहीं है।
नहीं, ये तो आप पुस्तक की बात कर रहे हैं, मैं पुस्तक की बात नहीं कर रहा, मैं केवल
I am not talking about book. I am simply talking of logic. Because they may say that I don't accept Gita. I am saying that I don't talk of Gita. So I am simply asking in a logical way, who dies? I am not bringing Gita here. I am simply asking, whose death are you talking of?
आपकी प्रेजेंट आइडेंटिटी की।
ये तो आप केवल दूसरा शब्द प्रयोग कर रहे हैं, क्या है वो आइडेंटिटी?
So if you say your present identity is going to die, then what is that identity?
आइडेंटिटी की मृत्यु तो यही होती रहती है। जब आप बच्चे थे, उसके बाद में युवक हो गए, तब
So your present identity dies in this life itself.
इसलिए तो आप अभी भी जीवित हैं।
Because when you were a child and then you grew into a teenager, you don't say that now that I am a child. So that identity has gone, but you are still living.
आइडेंटिटी आ गई। तो ऐसा नहीं है, वही मैं बोल रहा हूँ ना कि ना तो आपने चारवाक पढ़ा है, ना उन्होंने चारवाक पढ़ा
So
है।
that's why I'm saying that you have not studied Charvak, that person has not studied Charvak. You simply make some statements.
ठीक है, और है कोई?
प्रशांत जी पूछते हैं, प्रणाम बाबा जी, जब मेरे
Next question, when my relatives eat meat and even after lot of efforts from my side, they do not agree to become vegetarian. So should I stop convincing them to become pure vegetarian because I also lose
जब आपकी बात नहीं
my energy, my enthusiasm?
छोड़ी,
So you yourself are answering. If they are not listening to you, then what can be done? Ultimately, they have to face the results of their karma. You will incur result of your karma.
फिर कंसिस्टेंसी नहीं हो पाती है।
Next question, I work for 4 to 5 days, then I lose the consistency. For a lot of time, I lose the enthusiasm of that work. So can you suggest any solution through Vedic psychology? To answer, Vedic psychology treatment is quite lengthy because in Vedic psychology, we try to find out the cause behind everything.
ऐसा जो आप कर रहे हैं, तो उसके पीछे कोई कारण है।
So why you are behaving like this? It has some reason behind this. It is just not just happening accidentally. If it would have just happened like that, then everybody would be behaving like that. Because why are you behaving like this, not somebody else? That means there is some cause behind that. And that cause is lying in you, but not in the other person. That's why you behave like this, but the other person does not behave like this. So that cause has to be investigated.
उसकी प्रक्रिया तो लंबी है,
So
इतनी आसान नहीं।
so it's a long process.
प्रक्रिया लंबी होने का कि ये कोई
And why the process is long? Because it's not drishta, it just cannot be seen.
तो मैं देख के बता,
It's not like there is some boil on your hand and I just see and understand.
ये मानसिक स्तर पर है समस्या, तो उसके मन का विश्लेषण करना पड़ता है।
So it's a mental problem and that has to be analyzed deeply, and because it cannot be seen,
करके आपके जीवन के
so it's simply by continuously talking with you, discussing about your life history.
लगाता कि इसके पीछे
This is how a therapist investigates and goes to the root cause of the problem.
निवारण करना पड़ेगा।
So that cause has, that root cause reason has to be eradicated.
पहला प्रश्न है, महाराज जी, रत्नाकर और अंगुलीमाल का तुरंत परिवर्तन कैसे हुआ? क्या उनकी पुरानी वासनाओं का असर उन पर आगे नहीं हुआ होगा?
So question about Ratnakar and Angulimal, how did they get reformed immediately? Did they not get influenced by their samskaras again? So answer, this type of transformation that happens in life, it has two reasons.
ही ऐसा कर्म था,
One is that that person was acting like that because of some karma of some previous life. That person had taken on the spiritual path in the previous life, but he got deviated due to some reason.
नाशो अस्ति प्रत्यवायेन विद्यते स्वल्पमप्यस्य धर्मस्य त्रायते महतो भयात्। तो उन्होंने कुछ साधना की थी अपने जीवन में,
Like Bhagavan said earlier.
किसी कारणवश वो साधना,
So these people, they had done some sadhana in the previous life and they could not perfect that. They got deviated and they had to take another life, another birth. and the effect of the wrong karma that was done in the previous life, that got eradicated. So now the moment they get any stimulus for again going on the spiritual path, immediately they will take it up seriously. That is one reason. And the other reason can be by the kripa, by the mercy of some Mahabhagavat, like Lord Buddha or Narad Rishi. So they have such power that by their causeless mercy, they can change the samskaras in the chitta of that person, and by their mercy, they infuse the spirituality in their heart. So both reasons are possible, or only one is possible. Like regarding Tulsidas, it is said, I don't remember exactly her wife's name. So he was very much attached to his wife, and he goes to her house, and then she says that the how much attachment you have for me, if you would have little bit for Bhagavan Ram, then your life would become successful. Then he left and he went and he became such a great devotee of Lord Ram, and he gave this such a unique shastra called Ramcharit Manas, which is benefiting so many people in the society. So many people have such experiences, but why only Tulsidas reacted like this? So it proves that Tulsidas must have been a devotee of Bhagavan Ram in the previous life, but due to some reason, he had to suffer that much amount of karma, and he took another birth. And when his wife spoke those statements, that effect of that karma got deleted. So it is like, suppose you have lot of grass, but it is wet. But when it will become dried under sun, just by a small spark of fire, the entire thing can get burned. Before that, no matter how much you try to burn it, it won't burn. So like this, there are many kathas. In Vrindavan, there is a temple, Tedekamba temple. There was a rich person from Lucknow. So regarding him also, there is such a katha that he was sitting, and the lady who was sweeping, she said that it is evening time. Please, uh, little sit aside. Don't sit here because I have to sweep here. So then he took it in a serious way. Oh, it is the time for sunset in my life. So now I should leave everything and go away. So he came to Vrindavan.
वो उस मेहतरानी का शब्द उसके ऊपर ऐसा चोट क्यों कर गया? क्योंकि पूर्व जन्म के संस्कार.
So now why that lady's words influenced this person in such a way? Because of the samskaras of previous life. So if a person gets influenced by such thoughts, materialistic thoughts, does that mean his intelligence is polluted? So answer, what else can it be? If the intelligence is pure, why will it get influenced by such thoughts? So it is not just polluted, it is too much polluted. Next question, how can I really change bhog buddhi to tyag buddhi? The buddhi of sense enjoyment to the buddhi of renunciation. So that is what Bhagavan is teaching here, to make it disciplined, regulated, to do the bhoga in a regulated way, not in unregulated way. And first of all, having the right decision, right determination. First of all, you should have the proper decision that I want to give this up and I want to go on the spiritual path. So then slowly you have to regulate yourselves. This is what Bhagavan.
Okay, we'll stop. Recite the प्रार्थना. सर्वोपनिषदो गावो दोग्धा गोपालनंदनः पार्थो वत्सः सुधीर्भोक्ता दुग्धं गीतामृतं महत् एकं शास्त्रं देवकी पुत्र गीतम् एको देवो देवकी पुत्र एव एको मन्त्रस्तस्य नामानि यानि कर्माप्येकं तस्य देवस्य सेवा कार्पण्यदोषोपहतः स्वभावः पृच्छामि त्वां धर्मसम्मूढचेतः यच्छ्रेयः स्यात् निश्चितं ब्रूहि तन्मे शिष्यस्तेऽहं साधिमां त्वां प्रपन्नम् यत्र योगेश्वरः कृष्णो यत्र पार्थो धनुर्धरः तत्र श्रीर्विजयो भूतिर् ध्रुवा नीतिर्मतिर्मम कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नंदनाय च नंदगोपकुमाराय गोविंदाय नमो नमः नमः पंकजनाभाय नमः पंकजमालिने नमः पंकजनेत्राय नमस्ते पंकजांघ्रये भवे भवे यथा भक्ति पादयोस्तव जायते तथा कुरुष्व देवेश नाथस्त्वं नो यतः प्रभो नाम संकीर्तनं यस्य सर्वपाप प्रणाशनं प्रणामो दुःखशमनस्तं नमामि हरिं परम् हरि ओम तत्सत्।